right, yo, man. Yo, episode 004, Black Group Therapy. Shout out. We made it to one whole month of podcast, man. Let's clap it up for ourselves. Once again, shout out to Loop 2150 for opening their doors and allowing us young black people to come in and do our thing. Man, I'm John, the author. We here. We got some dope people again. We got a lot of... How was y'all week, man?
It was pretty good.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
Pretty solid. Productive.
Yeah?
Interesting.
Yeah, I had a great productive week.
Oh, man, it feels so good. Like, black people like, yo, I got through the week. Today was a good day. I'm on my ass.
Nobody got shot.
Nobody.
I think somebody
The
got
Lakers-
basketball court.
And I get paid Friday, so it's
Yeah, that's always nice.
The Lakers beat the Supersonics. Everything.
Everything went great.
Man, last week when we ended, man, it was hot, man. We was talking about the miscommunication between the young and the old, and I know a lot of y'all had like things that y'all was like, yo, I couldn't get this out. Me and Wale, I was like, nigga, we gotta end the podcast.
That was this time? That was the last podcast?
That was last time. Sil, you was telling me earlier before we started that she was politicking with your mom. And what was your mom doing?
Yeah, it was funny. I told her about the podcast last week, and I was like, yeah, I was talking, and I was telling them about our relationship and how things are better. She was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I got through, but I hope I did. And she did go elder on me. She was like, I don't know what they be thinking, baby, But still, yeah, it was cool to have that conversation with her and build, and she understand where I'm coming from with that whole need for her to open up as well so we can receive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, like, I know, like, one of the things that was on the list for us to talk about today was, like, words that kids are allowed to use. And Candace came up with that topic, and I was like, is that still, like, relevant? Like, because, like, I have 2 kids, and I don't, like, if my daughter says lie, I won't be like, yo, don't say lie. But I remember coming up, we couldn't say lie. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't even think we could say fart.
No.
It was a poop.
Nigga poot it.
I mean, you can't even say, you couldn't, like, not that you probably would want it to, but I had to call a vagina cookie, like, for a long time. I got till I was 14 saying my cookie, and I'm like, this is really... Like,
that's more sexual than a vagina.
It's written like, people respond like, oh, I like that cookie, or can I have that cookie? And then I started realizing, okay, so let me grow and realize vagina is less sexual than cookie or the other word that she didn't want me to use, even though it makes sense. But I just felt like vagina is not something children shouldn't be able to say. It's a part of anatomy. Genitals, vagina. Absolutely. It should be.
So you feel like lie is something?
Lie was, my grandma, she would hit me, and I understood why. Because I would also use lie with a different tone. When I say, oh, I told a story, I had a child tone. But when I was, oh, you lying, my tone is high, and I'm very subjectory. Like, you are, it's you, I know, I'm adamant. And grandma was like, you're not an adult, you're not grown enough to tell another adult or someone older than you that they're lying to you when you don't even know if they are or not.
I think that's what that
What if they're lying?
But that
they are.
That's
the part, though.
I didn't grow up like that.
Wait, but that's
but that being said, I've said lie in just a regular tone, and I still felt some type of way saying it around my mom, around my grandmother. Like, if it's like, she was over there and she was lying. Like, it's not me saying you lying. Like, or just say so and so told her. Like, I mean, they told a story, and you're even in a real innocence, genuine, like, not with that tone, and it was still like not allowed.
But it didn't have, if you take away if you go with words, you got told a story. A story is typically can be fiction, non-fiction, so many things behind it. So when you say as a child, I told a story, you did just tell a story, or somebody told a story to you. Now, when you add, if you believe it or not, I just think that sometimes in the black homes, adding your own perspective to anything was a problem. So saying somebody was a liar is a legit perspective. You can't do that in a black home.
Do y'all think that
I like that shirt,
that
man.
tradition, this right here?
Yeah, man. It keep you warm, right?
It's fly, right?
Yeah.
Do you all think that that tradition, it's an African American tradition, agreed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wale, you're Nigerian, and you said that wasn't a thing.
I mean, I won't say it wasn't a thing. I'm just saying more so than that. You had the yes sir, yes ma'am. You know what I'm saying? That don't look in your eyes. Don't look at me when I'm talking.
Right.
Look
So
down
like,
when I'm talking. Yeah.
I do know that like historically, like black men, like there was a time in American history where it was like if a white person did something to you, you couldn't say, "Oh, they're lying," or you couldn't like if a white man said that you did something, you did it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Mm.
Do you all think that growing up in that condition for our parents and their parents, they kind of like took that same mentality and applied it to their kids? So like, whereas like if a black man got into a situation with a white man, if the white man was lying, he couldn't say, "Oh, he's lying,"
It's a form of
because
disrespect.
it was a form of disrespect. Do you think that our parents kind of like put that mentality upon their own kids and say it's disrespectful if you say a grown person is lying, even though they might be?
I mean, yeah.
Does it make sense?
I
Like,
think it's both. I think we can take that perspective from it. Like, yeah, they kind of pass down that mentality through the generations. But what about just simplifying it? Like, if somebody lying, who want to get pointed out like you lying? And they grown. They can be taking a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, they lying out there being like, and the little kids telling them, like, you're lying. The little kids don't say like, they don't want to be called
Don't
out.
you call
It can
me
be
a
that
liar.
simple.
About not
Yeah.
disrespecting the adults, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It ain't even disrespect. It's just they don't want to get called out. If you was lying, don't point me at black families got a lot of secrets now. Now you talking about you lying, you did this, like you a little kid, like don't say like, you know. That's simple. But I
I
think
just saw
that's
an
on
example. I saw an example of I saw a status, a Facebook status where a woman was like, my son was talking to the police, you know what I'm saying, and she was like, "Oh, is that a gun?" He was like, "The police, are you a good cop?" "Yes." "Is that a gun?" "Yes." "Well, my mom has a gun too." And then she kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So I can understand how people want to police their children on saying certain things because certain information is not for everybody. So
I mean, yeah, because growing up in my household, it was what happens in this house stays in this house. And God, I hated that phrase, you know, because so many things go on within the black household, and you feel like you can't tell anybody, or you have nobody that can actually understand what's going on with you, because you might not be believed as a child in the black household, or you're exaggerating the truth, and that makes it hard to find your identity as a child. You know, I think now we allow our children to express themselves a little bit more. And sometimes I even look at my daughter like, "Ooh, baby, you getting too big for your britches." You know, because they feel like they can talk to you on a different level, but I also understand that they understand concepts so well. And I feel like sometimes my parents grew up in the South. So you had no say-so. You had no feelings. For real. My parents grew up with that. Oh, your feelings hurt? You ain't got no feelings. What's wrong with you? Can't nothing be wrong. I pay all these bills. When you have to understand that these are still little humans. They're born with every emotion that you are born with. And you have to help them understand those emotions. Because if you don't, the world will. And it definitely won't be in a way that you like.
I also think there's a stigma between the old generation and the new generation. Like the old generation doesn't really believe in therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear oftentimes that black people don't believe in therapy, or you can't be depressed because, you know what I'm saying,
Mental
you know what I'm
illness
saying?
in general.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, it goes beyond their belief in it. It's a shaming factor of it. So that makes it become, I don't believe in it, or that's not possible, because we put this whole shaming. You got a mental illness, depressed, bipolar, something wrong with you? That's not right. You know, don't talk about that. So it's the whole shaming thing.
But and to add on to that, though, I think we have to pay respect to the conditions that the African American was incubated in. Like, you know, this year is 2019. This is the 400th year anniversary that, you know, where the first black slave was brought to this country. So we've been here 400 years. Black people have populated America before it was even America. And those conditions, man, you know, for a majority of our time here, we weren't allowed to have what you would call therapy. when we had mental issues, it was like, whatever, nigga, get back out there and pick that cotton. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we had to like
And
just
that was the
deal
issue.
with it.
Yeah, then the ones who did
And
express
internally.
mental discomfort about how they felt, any emotion talking, you weren't allowed to express how you felt back then. So generation to generation, you kind of do suppress it, man and woman. You have somebody constantly telling you that what y'all feel should not even be spoken. Because if you speak on how
We
you
don't
feel, they
care.
think you're trying to do an upright. And if you're trying to do an upright, then you done got killed just by saying in a group doing church outside, this some fucked up shit we in, y'all. You can't even say that. Because then they think you trying to
On the other
Yeah.
hand,
Hey, my nigga, you know what I'm thinking? Oh, what you thinking, nigga? I'm finna snitch on your ass. This nigga thinking. Master, this nigga thinking.
and with the whole shaming factor, there's something about
What you thinking,
being
nigga?
strong.
Let me find
I'm
out.
strong. I'm powerful.
Yep.
You know, I there's nothing wrong with
Nothing
me.
wrong
Like
with
we
me.
have that too. That whole I'm too strong.
What a black man look like crying.
What a black man look like crying? What a black man look like he's saying I'm going through some emotions, you know, especially back then.
It's power and vulnerability too.
Shake my hand.
It
Shake
is.
nothing.
But see, you learn that. But then it depends. If power and vulnerability doesn't come until everybody around you allows you to be vulnerable. though. You can be vulnerable all you want to, but if you got people around you that's like, no, I'm about to kill you because you're being too vulnerable, and I need a
Yeah.
strong buck. You gonna
Yeah.
switch it up quick because you don't want to die.
Yeah.
Then
I like
you got
that.
that woman that's like, I don't even know how to cook, but I'm gonna learn how to cook today because I don't want to die. Like she don't even think. She just processing like, okay, boom, 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 because I need to move. At that
Yeah.
time, you don't think about your feelings, and you got 4,000. How long we been here for? 400 years.
That's
of
survival.
no thinking about how you feel.
That's survival. You
We've
like
literally been there
Yeah.
for so
preservation.
long.
I gotta live.
See, but that's
Yeah.
the survival.
That is.
The whole thing with you saying don't air your dirty laundry. What
Yeah.
stays in this house
Yeah.
stays in this house.
Yeah.
Because we gotta survive. We're
Yep.
protecting ourselves from other people coming at us because of what we got going on.
And what's fusing the difference, what's making it bad now is we doing stuff to ourselves in that circle, and we
Yeah.
don't allow
Yes.
each other to speak
Yes.
to others. So now you got people abusing each other in a circle where kids are, and adults are also feeling like I was raised not to say nothing because I'm gonna handle this in my household. And sometimes you can't handle it by yourself, but you're not
Right.
raised to know you can go out there and get help. White people are raised already. If something go wrong, go to Grandma Joe because they live up the street on the road.
Because I know that there's a lot of like there's this whole thing now where it's like there's a lot that goes on in the black household. But I wouldn't just like
Say
make it
black
just
household.
straight black. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
white people have things that
Issues.
go on in their household that they don't. You know what I'm saying?
But they're
They don't
going
tell
on that
people.
couch way
But-
quicker than us to get it out to
But
talk about.
that too.
I wouldn't even say that. I mean, we gotta.
I think we talking about if
We're-
we talking about generational, it's been proven that white people will go to a therapist before black people because we still on that point. We talking about generational systematic problems. White people do get in trouble and go to a whole nother family member.
Blacks are labeled much quicker than whites.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then once you're labeled, now you can't
It's
conceal
over
to
with.
carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's taking away your rights. It's like they have made the system to where no matter which way you go, you fail.
Yeah.
Cause it's made to
So it's-
suit them.
Therapy
Yeah.
class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would I go
we
lay on
go
your
back to
couch?
it. We go back
Okay,
to
go
it.
ahead.
Generationally speaking, white people can go and get help faster than black people. We are 400 years later trying to figure it out. Where if they have 400 years of this is my option, that's my option, and yeah, you know everybody has their problems. But it's just like the justice system. We do the same thing, but you white, I'm black. I go for 12 and you don't. That's the whole generation. Whatever. they go
Which
for,
is
they
why
don't get as much.
why we don't feel comfortable.
You don't feel
Do y'all-
comfortable.
do y'all-
So,
Do
but
y'all think that? I mean, we gotta keep in mind that black people only make up 12% of the population in America, and like, is it even fair to compare? Because
not
like
fair
white
to-
people are the majority in this country, not in the world, but in this country.
I don't think that
it's
so
fair
like,
to
is it
compare, but I
fair to
feel like
compare and
Therapy
say
is
like?
another cost that we have to incur in a black household. We've been on survival mode, so we have to incur that cost of going to therapy. You got to pay somebody to be your therapist.
Which brings me to my question: How can we? Okay, before that question, where do we get our pride from as black people, and how can we pass on that pride to our future generations so that way they don't feel so pressured by society and their ego? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that question makes sense.
You mean
because-
like
How
self-love?
do we pass on?
because
I
one
think
thing I said last podcast, I said that I get most of my pride from my mother. You know what I'm saying? And if we go through the topics of, hey, most of the time, you know what I'm saying, we're forced to go out and work and not complain. Because even before I got problems, but if I complain, who's gonna listen? We said that just before the podcast started. You know what I'm saying? We're almost taught that. You know what I'm saying? So imagine how many people come home from a rough day where they have so much to complain about, but they don't complain, and they just come home and they wallow in their day. They don't really tell people or tell their family about their day, and it's just a whole lot of toxic. You know what I'm saying? And that's all the younger kids see. You know what I'm saying? So they have to see that mother, that parent, you know what I'm saying, be it a mother or a father, just deal with everything, and they get their pride from whoever they're closest to as children and parents. But those who are working every day, coming home every day with that, you know what I'm saying, with that pain or that energy, you know what I'm saying, who don't have an outlet, you know what I'm saying, how can we as a people, as a black people, pass on not only knowledge but pride?
Well, we have to be elders, you know what I'm saying? Like, the role of an elder is to, identify when the youth need assistance, and we need to have, working relationships with the youth where they're willing to tell us what they have to say, because there's sometimes when, the youth don't have, the desire to say what they have to say about, life to their adults. But, we just have to talk because, white people need, to talk to people. Black people need to talk to people. And we all just need black group therapy.
Right. You know what? I'm going to be the antagonist tonight because I feel like we have this conversation so much about what another culture is doing to us. I feel like the most simplest thing for us, as far as black people, to overcome everything is unity. Mm-hmm. We always talk about this time and time again, how the white man is doing something to us. The white man has conquered and divided a lot of nations, a lot. But the thing is, with other nations, they stick together. Black people don't do that. Now, white people did divide and conquer in slavery, separating the field nigga from the house nigga. But now it's like it's 2019, we don't have no excuse. I feel like this conversation, study gets brought up. We in a time where black people have money, we have wealth, we have knowledge, we don't have the unity. It's a lot of black therapists out here, black psychiatrists, black psychiatric nurses, black business owners. We just don't support each other. It's a lot of black people leading in tech.
I looked up on Google black therapists and black psychologists. I ain't really found it.
It's a lot. You know what? I got a non-for-profit called Justin Malloway Mental Health Services. I'm taking licensed therapists and licensed social workers from the hood. I got 2 right now from the Austin community. We throw these events where we teaching the community about mental health. There are people like us that went to school, that got degrees, that study mental health, but black people are not unifying. We rather be, not everybody, but a lot of people rather focus on entertainment and stuff like that, because they taught you, you're a nigga, you're here to entertain. Be a basketball player, be this, be that. It's a lot of people that went to school. We got George Washington Carver that study agriculture, that know how to grow food. I went to agricultural high school. I'm being real transparent right now. I went to CHAD, Chicago High School of Agricultural Science. A lot of black people went there. We have the skills to do it, but how long are we going to talk about what another nation did to us instead of us unifying?
You got to understand that you just said slavery. You got a lot of people come from different backgrounds here. So that it's like a lot of trust. You got to trust first. And I think is that we don't really trust each other enough for that unification to happen. And the thing is too is there's a lot of like things that separate us that unifies, because you have religion, class. They still do the whole brown bag thing.
Yeah.
Light skin is the right skin. And you dark skin, you gotta be dumb. That still happens to this day.
But you know what? A lot of
I'm
other
not
nations
saying that, a lot of nations, they are that nation. You feel me? China is China. You feel me? And China will always be China. But America is a diversity of people with different cultures, different backgrounds, different standing. And they have to figure out where they stand first before they can come together as one.
But you know what? We live in a city that's the most segregated. You know where the Koreans at, you know where the Chinese at, you know where the Arabs at, you know where the Mexicans at, you know where the black people at. If these other nations can stick together and have a Chinatown up north where they got the Arabs selling and buying everything, why black people can't have that?
You know what? I think I hear what you're saying, and you know, I've had these conversations before. I think what we have to start doing is we got to be more empathetic with ourselves. I mean, I think that, you know, history will tell you all you need to know about why. And I mean, not to play the victim all the time, but like, tell me that I'm lying when I say that the government has strategically done things to keep black people from organizing.
The government has done that all the way back since Moses' day. But the thing is, when the Hebrews tried to organize, they was disorganized by fighting amongst each other. Moses was the leader of the people. The pharaohs was the government. He taught them we have to stick together. We have to turn our face away from complaining. And, you know, being against each other. Come together and go into their promised land. Martin Luther King taught the same thing. It's so simple that it's unity. The government has disenfranchised a lot of nations.
Black people have practiced unity, but I also think historically it's been broken up. And I think even now, we're still like. Even now, I think that we're still like. There's so many people around just Chicago who's trying to organize. You're trying to organize. I'm trying to organize. We're trying to organize. But that what we do doesn't get amplified on the mainstream media. So then the whole idea of, yo, black people not sticking together gets then tossed out there, and it's like, yo, that's like what black people as a whole do, right? It becomes this whole monolithic idea of black people not wanting to stick together, when in actuality it's not true. Like there's so many black people trying to stick together.
It's an infiltrator that come in. It's one nigga that's in a group of room where everybody trying to move towards the same idea, that he has external factors getting in his head, like, oh, them niggas da-da-da, he get jealousy or something crept in him and he infiltrate. It's been like that forever.
So how do you stop that? We have to desegregate though. Like you if it's a bunch of niggas in the room, we have that nigga who see everything for what it is. It says that nobody else can't see, and then you not as saying like, well, I understand why they can't see. In the same sentence, you saying everybody could easily do it like this. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. So we have somebody that just see it as it's just that easy. We got somebody that see it like, no, it ain't. It's so hard. I really can't do it.
The
then
pessimist and the optimist.
It's everywhere. So I think the answer to what you're trying to get to is what she asked. How do we figure out how to do it together? But she pointed out a point. We are in America where it ain't just black people here. It's African Nigerians here. It's Somalians here. It's Mexicans here. She's from Trinidad. So everybody got different places they come from. And I'm just from Arkansas, Chicago. So I have a different outlook. And I think that because we all have those different outlooks, trust is never going to be something that's right on the surface.
But you know what it is,
it's a practice.
We have to separate ourselves. I understand, and I'm all for Martin Luther King. I love Martin Luther King, but we have to separate and rebuild. It starts from the foundation. It starts from teaching love and being empathetic.
When we was
every other culture teach themselves. The Chinese got their own. They have their own
teachers. You believe in Marcus Garvey's teaching?
I don't believe we should go back to Africa because our generation here, we disconnected from that. We don't know what our history is burnt from that. We have to start where we at. We still looking back at all this stuff. Yeah, this is what they doing to us. What are we doing for ourselves? We have to separate and teach ourselves love. And if we study complain about it, it's gonna be the same narrative generation after generation.
I hear what you're saying.
I was gonna say that to what she said when we talked about generations. I think that a lot of times we do that. We talking about black people problems and just throwing it out here. We started saying white people problems and they got problems. And though I jumped on that topic, it still changed from what we got going on as people. I'm sorry, but white people do have problems, and I still stand that their problems are not as important as my shit that I got going, because I'm not over there. I'm over here. And the only thing I can see is we all suffering the most. I really don't see too many white people suffering from mental depression or mental problems. I see them, but I see all of us in this room sitting here in black group therapy. And I don't see a lot of white people that do group therapy.
I'm going to say this, is I worked in a county, I'm not going to mention the county, for a health department. All white. They suffer for a lot of, is majority white in this county. they suffer from a lot of mental health issues. But the thing is, they take care of their own.
They go
to the full force and take care of their own.
Maybe.
We have to start doing that.
We
We
have to
cannot
trust
keep
each
just
other.
enfranchising ourselves by pointing out the next man. We know what happened in slavery.
Yeah.
We know that went on, but what are we going to do about it? Complaining is not the way. We have to unify.
I think that.
Can
But I don't know if we complain either though.
Yeah.
I think every great meeting.
Okay, hold on,
Black
y'all.
people.
Jimmy
think we're
go,
complaining.
then Wale go, and then you finna say something too?
We back in class,
Yeah, I
y'all.
think every
You gotta do it like that.
black
You
meeting
gotta
always happens like this. Ever since I was a child, everybody comes together and say, "Why can't black folks work together?" And we all have a conversation about black folks not coming together. And then after that, we come together because I look at Chicago Community College, the City College of Chicago. Black folks working together. I look at today, black folks working together. I look at organizations that happen, and and it's always a conversation everywhere. Like the Chicago Urban League. I go there. I graduated from classes there and everything, and they always talk about how black folks need to work together. Then talk about how it's a shame that we don't work together, and then after that, we work together. So black people are always working together successfully. Like today, you mentioned that black folks don't work together. It's sad, terrible, but today we're doing it. So I think that's black folks may not be working together somewhere, but everywhere I go, I see black folks working together.
But I'm saying on the
Hold on,
more.
Tati.
Oh, glad.
Wale has something.
I appreciate, y'all. I wanna give a special shout out to John because John has really taken advice and he's really becoming a better mediator. So shout out to.
One day you will.
You know what I'm saying? That's real. I just see the growth. So I appreciate you.
Man, I
for
see
that.
your growth too, brother.
Look at this growth.
Look,
Black unity right there.
I feel like this is interesting, and I feel like think about it. Real life is that black people really do work together. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many times you try or how many people you listen to or what you listen to or what you see or what is being portrayed, you know what I'm saying? Black people are working together. It's a clear example every day and you see it. Nigerians hang around Nigerians. Jamaicans hang around Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? Caribbeans hang around Caribbeans.
Basically.
Think about it. Back when Martin Luther King was here, back when Malcolm X was here, Marcus Garvey was here, you know what I'm saying? People were working together. It's not about so much about whether we're working together or not. It's who's leading us. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of times, we as a people, especially in this generation, we all want to be independent. Despite knowing that we can't do everything. But we want to learn everything we want to do. We don't want to need anybody. And I feel like that is the real, you know what I'm saying, issue. Because you might have someone in your community that can help you. But because it's another person, you know what I'm saying, you might, you know what I'm saying.
Alright, hold on.
Uh-huh.
You got something to say?
Yeah, I can piggyback off the end that too because see, I think that we as black people do work together, but I guess the only thing I would say is I get tired of the conversation when we're talking about our problems going to, but they have problems too and they got problems. I just really rather we just fix our own. Like that's just my whole outlook on that because we haven't moved anywhere because when the conversation do come up, somebody is like, but white people got problems too. And it's like, okay, all right, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever. If I'm talking about, it's like talking about women and then here come a man. But women do that too. Like, okay, but we talking about this. You have one problem to talk about. You can't talk about other people's problems and get your problems together. So that would be my point on that. And then that statement you said, I don't know if it really even follows what we're talking about people not wanting to work with people based upon who they are and don't want to move it. If it do, I would say that I would have to disagree because in business, if you own a business or you work with a business, who you are when you behind that business, that face is very important nowadays because we have people who don't like black people or say racist things about black people that sell to black people. So who you are as a business owner is important. If you feel like people don't want to work with you because of who you are, they don't want your business because of who you are, take a step back and look at who you are. Maybe you're not the best business person for them at the moment. Sometimes you got to work on that.
Real quick, I know Keela wanted to say something. Tati had one more thing to say. and then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna move to the next topic. What was you gonna say, Tati?
I'm the antagonist tonight. I'm just saying that we need to separate, we need to build our foundation, and we need to start from now.
Mm-hmm.
So working together, but also teaching each other, loving each other, and being empathetic. If we keep blaming the white man did something to everybody. Every nation you would think of, the white man has conquered or did something or tried to do something. Why are we the only one that's still stuck on this what they did to us? That's because we as a people are so focused on being like physically strong and getting through the struggle, they put chains on our man. If you think that the white man do this, the white man do that, you make the white man your God. That means a white man has all type of power over you. It's on your man.
You being such a good antagonist right now.
I'm serious.
I disagree with a lot.
I probably don't like.
You done?
I'm
Ooh,
just
I
saying,
wanna yell
how
right
are
now
we
so
gonna
bad.
talk about this?
Hold on, let me
black
say something
people-
before we jump into the whole religion conversation.
I ain't even. I ain't want to hit religion. But I'm just saying, as far as God, I mean, you letting the white man tell you who you are. You letting him tell you that. You letting him tell you that you're not gonna do this. You can't do that because I run this whole world and I'm your God, basically.
Okay, I got
There's
something
nothing
to say.
wrong with recognizing the enemy.
been breathing hard. I'm like,
Okay, one. When I grew up in school,
And I like
there was
white
a
people, by the
poster in the hallway that said, "It takes a
I love
village
all
to
people.
raise a child." As I grew up, that poster went away for whatever reason. I don't really know why, but I don't even see it now. I don't even hear people really say it now. I am a very scientific based person. I believe in science. I don't want to say I don't. I believe in science. The brain, we only use 10% of our brain. Let's start there. We can't even figure out how the Egyptians built the pyramids, regardless of any nation, any race, any creed. Let's start there. Secondly, because I am science-based, it says that it is so hard. There was a scientific study that said it is very hard for people to change their behavior after the age of 25 due to the way that our neural pathways are built. That it becomes more deeply embedded in your mind the more you travel that path. Sort of like if you take the same street every day, you know how to get where you're going. But the moment that road is closed and you have to figure out a different road, you're like, oh, I just don't want to go today. And so what we really need to get back to in regards to trying to build unity within our community is it takes a village to raise a child. Our children are our future. We need to start bringing our youth together more, and I mean by the age of 3 and 5, when their brain is still flexible and not fully developed, so that we can begin to build those neural pathways that says you need one another.
Can I sit next to you?
Let's go back to you said black people don't unify. What I see, I go to a lot of networking events, and I just talk to a bunch of different people, and it seems like we all doing the same thing. I know tons of people with a non-for-profit, tons of people with a media company or whatever. It's just like, how, all right, now that you got your media company, your non-for-profit, all that, how do you put that together? And because we doing the same thing, and we got the same goals in mind, so now it's about putting it together.
And I think what Tati is talking about is more so like, why aren't all black people working together, right? Like, why isn't there this grand why isn't there this grand effort where it's like all black Americans understand and get like, yo, we need to work together. But I think like before European colonialism and imperialism, when you go back to Africa, before we were snatched up off the motherland and brought over here, black people didn't all work together either. They had this thing called tribes. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I think that
Still do.
I think that like I think that what we may need to look into today is how are we gonna build our tribe? Your tribe does. I mean, the best way to build a tribe, like the easiest way, is like, yo, you're the same color as me. You're from the same community as me. You know what I'm saying? You're from the same family as me. Let's get together. Fuck it. Let's work. But if we've been so shooken up, right, and misplaced and mentally controlled. Hold on, we've been so mentally controlled. It's like you may not be able to trust, like you were saying, someone who's supposed to be your cousin. You may not be able to trust someone who's supposed to be your brother or your sister. But that doesn't mean that you can't still put together a tribe. You all right here in my tribe. You know what I'm saying? We can work together. You don't even have to be black. You just gotta be. We just gotta have the same mission.
Right, but you know,
and
what?
that's the only thing. That's the only way we really can do. Because you said you don't want to go back to Africa. You want to stay here in America. Well, guess what? America is a fucking melting pot.
This is what I'm saying. You keep saying black like other people want disenfranchised. The Spaniards were enslaved. The Jews went through the Holocaust.
But we are talking about us.
We are. But look, this is the thing is, when you using us, you still have to see the same things that were put on us were put on other nations, and they still got it together. That's what I'm saying.
They got reparations, so we did it.
Yeah.
No, but the Mexicans, the Spanish people didn't get reparations. It's no way that we've been here for over 400 years.
But you can't compare.
So my thing is this.
The Spanish
True antagonist tonight, because what's happening is the question keeps coming up, and then people are trying to throw out a resolve, an answer. How do we fix it? And every time somebody throw out a way to fix it, you still come back with what this person doing and what that person doing. Our goal should be point blank. How do we get to where we want to be? And let's work towards that, regardless of who. If we're talking about somebody else and saying they did it, well, heck, how did they do it? I want to take a page out of their book. And that's what we should be pulling and constructively using that, opposed to saying, they did it, why in the hell ain't we did it?
You know what they did, though? They unified, though. It's so simple that I can't, I'm not saying just me, but I don't see how people don't see it. People try to make everything more complicated than what it is. When life is really, when life, yeah, you're right. When life is really just like simple, it's simple, and the answer is unity. That's one thing we do not have.
I was watching.
You can say little tribes here and there, but at the same time too, other nations had tribes too. They taught their own people. They taught economics. They taught agriculture. They taught money. We still going from the white man. The white man is still teaching us. He's still teaching our kids.
As an antagonist?
Teach ourselves, right? Antagonists.
Because
I believe we should separate. We should separate. We in America, but we should separate from the white man.
But you don't want to go back.
We
to
should
Africa.
separate. We don't know go back to Africa.
She don't want to go back to Africa.
Chinatown have their own banks. They have their own medicine. They have their own doctors. Chinatown right up the street from here. They still here, but they have their own nation together. Black people don't have that. We let every other culture come in our neighborhoods, own everything. And we have businessmen. We have money. Y'all say we working together in trash. Why don't we own the store? The dollar price making a lot of money. What they doing?
All right, so look, I was watching Netflix the other day, and there's a documentary out about Sam Cooke, right? And y'all know who Sam Cooke is, right? Yeah. And, so Sam Cooke was really, really amazing in the sense of he was a regular recording artist, but he eventually, after his contract was up, decided to start his own record label. And he was doing a lot of innovative things during that era that a lot of black artists weren't doing. If you're familiar with the music industry during the 50s and the 60s, a lot of those African-American artists were getting fucked. Those record labels were paying them in coke, paying them in, you know what I'm saying? Like paying them next to nothing and making millions of dollars off of these records. Sam Cooke got his shit together and he started to really sign a lot of artists and work with them. And he got paid a visit by the mob. And they was like, yo, what you doing, man? We don't like that. We want you to stop. Okay. And he was like, man, get your ass up. I ain't doing none of that shit. I ain't whoa. Sam Cooke got killed. A lot of people say, a lot of people say it was a setup. You know what I'm saying? And on officially it was like, yo, he was messing around with a lady and, shit happened and he got killed, right? But
that's a deep breath conversation.
That's assassinated. The word is
to
assassination.
me, it seems like assassination. And when you say like, no, but listen,
that's what they did when they beat Toby. When he said my name is
but when you say like, why can't? But when you say like, but listen, G. When you say like, yo, why can't black people do this? Other people got it together. Black people ain't going to other people when they trying to uplift their people and saying, yo, we see you trying to uplift your people. Stop that shit.
They come to us.
They're not supposed to be coming to us historically, G.
Historically, but look,
And I'm not trying to play that victim shit, but I'm saying like,
that's the same thing they
it's
did with
okay.
Huey Newton with the Black
teach
Panthers.
it there.
They killed him. The same thing they did with Harold Washington. They did that to tell the other niggas, if you do this, you get out of line, you're gonna die. That is a mental tactic. They put slavery chains on your brain. When you got people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that put other warriors around him, and you see the movie Wakanda where the king was there leading his people, and there was warriors around him that was his own people. That's how you do that.
So
that's
speaking on that, I got a question.
You
I
have
got
to
a
have
question.
togetherness when you protecting people that's doing stuff like that.
That is true. So, would you rather have more money and less peace, or less peace and more money?
I would
Which
have
one?
more money and less peace.
More money and less peace. What about you? More money and less peace, or
And you
less
said what was the other one?
less peace and more money?
It depends. It
Less
depends.
peace.
More money, more
It
pride.
depends.
Hold on. Of course I want more money.
But she was answering, though.
Hold on.
As much as I love your answer, I did want to see what she had to say.
I want peace. No, I want peace.
Okay, but
know,
that's next.
You know what? I want peace. Everybody want peace, peace and love. But money is power.
But that's
Black
not.
wo-
That's not
money.
money.
What?
Wait! Everybody get a chance to
Okay.
answer this question before we elaborate, please.
Okay.
He said he
Peace.
want peace.
No,
He
I
said
want
more money. He want more money.
More money.
I'm gonna go with peace.
More money. What you
I'm gonna
say?
go with peace.
I want my peace of mind.
So we got money, peace. What you say?
I want my mother.
So we got money, peace, peace, and then you got peace.
money.
And what you
I need
got?
my peace.
Peace. Okay, so
I
we
need
got
both
peace.
pieces.
What you need?
Money.
We got money. What you need?
I need peace.
She need peace. What you need?
If you ain't got peace, you ain't got nothing.
Girl, so let me just throw this
Like
out
that.
there. Everybody is welcome
Because
to
a lot of these
praying.
big
Black
big
women
wait,
Praying for peace and still
All
ain't
these
got
niggas who
nothing.
want money.
They
What
be
you gonna
praying
do
to the
with
wrong
money?
God. But a lot
Come
of
on, let's
before
finish
we
the purpose.
before everybody elaborate personally. Okay, as far as the people who chose peace, I feel like people who chose peace understand that with peace comes cash. But I feel like people who chose money feel like they can't get peace unless they got money. So
Ooh.
that's an interesting perspective. Why do you guys who want money feel like y'all gotta have the money first? And I'm not gonna ask you, I'm gonna ask her. Because so I wanna know what she thinks. Because now I'm in your brain and I wanna see. Because you didn't want to talk tonight, but now we got to
Because that
talking.
tells me a
So
lot.
Money is a
why do you feel like you need that money over that peace?
frequency.
I'm hearing a lot.
Because money is power. Whatever nation who owns the land makes the rules.
They make the
They
peace.
make the law.
They make that
they
peace.
make the law. Who owns the land
They
makes
give
the law.
that peace with that money.
You know
I
what I'm
told
saying?
y'all.
Peace. Black people been crying for peace for a long time.
Uh-huh.
We've been in the field humming, praying to God, looking for somebody to save us, want peace. We need money. We need resources. We have resources.
I got something to say.
We have resources. Yes.
okay.
So
Because
y'all
when
always
it comes
got
power,
Yeah, we was trying.
think
We on
about
the
it.
peace side.
Think about it. Think about it. You got think about the hoods in Chicago. Who got peace in the hood? Who got peace in the hood?
That's great.
Who got peace? Who got peace in the
They
bird?
have no money. They have no
Who got
money.
peace in the
Let's let her finish that so we can know what the peace people got to say. Why you want peace on this side? You said money, so she answered for money. Why do you want peace?
No.
Well, like, chill, shut up. Cause you chilling, your tone of voice gonna have me up here, cause we're not even talking to you right now. Because I'm trying to ask one person a question, and you talking about chill. No, wait, no,
All right,
you
hold on. Hey, hold on. All right, y'all gotta relax. All right,
like
y'all
that
relax.
tone of voice don't
Candace.
slide with me. Talk to your child like that, G. Like, ask me nicely not to say it like that, but I wasn't saying it no way. I said specifically, she's the antagonist. I want to hear her question and answer.
understand, but then you
Now
just
I want
told her
she
that you
raised her hand, so let her
All right,
speak.
so y'all both gotta
understand.
relax.
So I'm not gonna. I'm done. I got nothing else to say. Anything you say gonna go one and out the other.
You just
so.
shut me up.
So that's
twice.
it. I'm done with it because I'm not gonna sit on this
okay.
camera and argue with you over you yelling at me
This
from
is
the
like
initial
group
Jump
therapy,
Street. G, you
people.
can't yell
It's
at people.
okay.
So
Y'all got love
continue.
for each other. Y'all got
Yeah,
love
so
for
I'm
each
not gonna
other.
even do that on
Yeah,
camera
I'm gonna
because
let
you
finish
can't
your
be
point.
correct
I'm
and I
gonna
don't
let you finish your
care.
point because you just shut me up.
But what did you say, Miss?
Hey, all right,
What did you
man. All
say?
right.
Why do you want peace over money?
I want peace over money because my father grew up a foster child. He had no money, but he met a woman, a woman took him into her home, and she gave him the peace of mind that money never could, because he never had a mother or a father that wanted him. That's what I feel like our children need. You could throw all the money in the world at a child, baby, but their mind has to be right. They need peace within their mind and in their heart, because that dollar ain't gonna do a damn thing. Not only that, money doesn't create power, knowledge does. The person with the knowledge creates the rules to be able to determine how you spend your money. That's how they determine that, oh yeah, you know what? we no longer want to do it with silver and gold. We'll do it with a piece of paper that they now have to worship with somebody else's face on it.
Talk that shit.
Like,
Why do black people and people that's like spiritual think that you're ordained to be broke? I never understood.
No. Wait.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, I don't know if that's like all the way.
That wasn't
all the way.
I know you being
For real.
Yeah.
I never said all the way.
All right, man.
Yeah, you
y'all
Stuff
niggas.
from places that no.
That is not true.
That is not what she said.
Right now, questions are being answered.
Look. I love Tati. I know what Tati really wants is to see her people doing good. And look. That's all she wants. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, but you gotta be easy on black folks, G. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Where's that
but like-
discernment?
We've been too easy for too long.
But you're not picking the meat
It's
from
too
us
long.
and taking the bones.
No, this
or
is the
whatever.
thing though. This is a time now in 2019 where a lot of stuff finna start happening.
Tati,
a
I
lot
get
of
that
stuff finna start
mentality.
happening. The weak is gonna perish. The strong will survive.
it's always
You
been.
have
It
to be
always been that
strong
way.
here, right? But you have to be strong here.
Mentally,
Why-
money ain't gonna make you strong
But
here.
generational.
I just
Why
said
are we
you
teaching
need peace.
people generationally?
No,
why are we
who's
teaching
teaching
people
them that?
for generations? Black people have got used to the struggle. That is not the way it's supposed to be.
Now let me throw this
I
out
never
there.
said
You had to be broke.
This-
I
we not
never.
even talking about the
Once
Hold
you
on, y'all.
have inner peace, do you know how much shit will come to you because of your energy, your vibe, and your frequency?
That's-
And
that's-
when you put it into the
All
universe,
right.
okay,
It's all
well,
about
come
your
on.
Why are
frequency.
people?
All right. Hey, y'all niggas gotta calm the fuck down real quick.
Hold on.
Empress,
Just look, you turned the first two episodes. Now he want to play
Empress
on
wanna
the
say
piece
something.
and
We gotta
shit.
just.
Yeah, because on the topic of peace, right, being that I have a lot of peace in my mind, y'all just seen how I could just turn up, but y'all see I can go back down to it too. Wanna know why? I practice peace. No, listen, I want to put it out there because I do not want to be that person, but I am not that person though. So I have to like do that sometimes, but I'm not that person. So having that peace though and not being angry has gotten me further in my modeling career, further with money and gigs in my modeling career. But when I was just chasing after the money, I had a mentality that was like, for the weak gon'
You can never
lose.
stop.
The strong. I was so strong. I get it. But then I look at those slaves. Like, look at those people being put into stress. What if they were in peace? How could they have thrived? Give people peace, and they'll be able to think, and you'll be able to think to go to higher platoons. So I think peace is something necessary. But money correlates, but only because money was created from some white or some, Lord forbid, somebody. You feel me? Somebody had a peace of mind in their empty house to think, whereas we did not have those pieces of mind, so we didn't have the chance to think. And not having a peace don't give you think to get the money. So if you don't have no peace, then you give a black man with no peace some money, then what he do? We saw that in history. He bought shoes. He don't
See
have
that now.
peace. His materials give him peace. We have erased peace for ourselves with Jordans and with gold because our ancestors were chains and crowns.
I'm doing this right now.
Yes, and I got
the
on the
majority of black people have peace. Why
But
is
you
the
know
hood
what?
the
No,
most,
I don't.
the most unpeaceful place in the world? Why is the
Can I just
violence
say-
there?
can I just
Why
say
is
I
the-
don't
the
think-
drugs
I don't
there?
think
Why
that
are people
the hood
taking
is so
drugs
unpeaceful.
because they don't have peace? It's because they don't have money.
No, that's not why.
That's not why.
That's not
I think
why.
they lack of peace.
They
pushes
taking
them to
drugs because
though.
they have emotional issues and trauma that they
and
haven't
that's a
dealt
lack
with.
of peace.
It's not because they didn't have.
Candace, did you want to say something?
Think about think of all the rich people who have committed suicide because they didn't have peace. They had all the money where they could buy whatever they wanted. They could have went on the island if they wanted to, but they just didn't have it together in their mind. Like, I know a friend who was making 6 figures in Washington D.C. at this big time job, but she had no peace. What did she do? She took a pay cut and went to Atlanta. Now she's happy. That's what that whole topic, when we came up with that, that's what I was thinking. Would you take a pay cut to be happy and more at peace, or to make all this money and not be happy and not have any peace at all?
Are we talking about individually, or are we talking about with building a nation?
No,
It's a
I
difference
think,
because there's people like Dr. Sabi that has cures to every disease in the world, but he does not have any money. He didn't have any money.
That
He
nigga
had
died.
cures.
First of all, he died, and he died with $30,000 in cash.
Wait, and he
And he
still
was-
lives.
first of all, he was
with no
assassinated.
rent problems
Hey,
or
thank you.
nothing.
Thank you.
Money
Yes,
is important. Yes, he
I'm
was.
talking about a different level of money. I'm talking about the level of money that like the Chinese got.
But here's my
where
thing.
they putting all their kids into tech and learning certain things at a young age.
I don't think.
Issues too.
Here's my thing, Tati. I hear you and I receive what you're saying. I don't think that money is what you look at money as the great problem solver. I think that money is like my issue. I was sitting there and I was trying to like process this question, and I was like, can you even like truthfully answer that? Because money is a tool and peace is like a experience, right? It's like, yo, I'm experiencing peace right now. You can't. So it's like, how can I say like, yeah, I'd rather have money and no peace? Like, what the hell? It's
peace
like
comes before.
But are we talking about individually or are we talking about black?
I don't think it matters.
I
don't think it matters.
I think we can do
because like if
you're not peaceful, I don't want you chaotically building my nation. I don't.
You got to do it individually before you can do that as a community.
Okay, what about black people that live chaotically every day and still don't have no money? But they got, you can say they got
What
peace.
about them?
Well, yeah.
How do you know that?
We need money to rebuild
To help
our
those
nation.
people who chaotic
Why
with
do
no
people?
We need unity. You said that already.
We need unity and we need money. We need a lot of stuff.
and peace.
We need a lot of stuff. But I'm saying we've been.
Hold on, chaotic and peace don't go together.
Wait a minute.
I don't know. Moving on. Look.
Yes, I got something to say.
Okay. You and then we done talking about this shit. Go ahead.
Okay, this is what I am going to say. It does not take money like people think it does. Our ancestors used to braid seeds into their head so that when they got to a different place, they would have food to eat. That is what you need. You spoke about agriculture. We need to create farmers. We need to push more black people into trades. That's how you build. You take wood, you take nails, you create something. How many of them are like, oh yeah, baby, go to the trades?
No.
Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. That is how you build.
And you know who made money off our ancestor stuff? The white man that knew the power of money. He knew the power as you. I'm not saying that's the only thing
he didn't know the power.
What
he
is
had
the
intelligence to know what to do with the money.
And he had the resources too.
And
They weren't creating for making
I don't even think the white man had the intelligence. I think the white man had the unity and he had the ability to conquer. He had that force in him that was like, we're gonna come and take this shit.
So you,
it ain't
that's what it is. You love the white man.
Can I show
I
you
don't
what
love
a
the
white man
You love the white man.
No, look, I'm just a lot of. I just think generations we've been talking complaining and we just keep passing it down.
Because like the only reason the white man knew to come to another country and take another race is because they had already did it with the Native Americans unknowingly. They gave them blankets that possessed smallpox, not realizing that it would fully kill them off. They just hoped that they would get sick and weak enough to where that they could take their land without being able to fight back. And then when they were like, oh, they dying? Oh hell yeah, we can go and do this somewhere else again. It's kind of like when you realize like, oh shit, if my turn like this one,
why are black people giving white people that power to do that?
Do you want to be like
if you see Wakanda and you see the unity and how the warriors was there protecting their nation, why don't we have that? Why do we let people come in, conquer and divide us?
Okay, what if we're gonna talk about Wakanda? They were raised.
Okay, look,
we need a black woman.
Look, we're gonna move on. Tati. We're not like we're not.
I think
done
y'all
with,
love the white
no,
man.
we're not done.
We the white man.
We're not done with this conversation. But like for the sake of the podcast, we're gonna move forward. But we gotta like throughout the week. I'm gonna send you some like articles. I'm gonna recommend you some books. I think that there's like the history is there.
He's talking about
I think
yoga
because you have a lot of questions that I don't think that like this panel we might not have the right answers for you right now. But I know some books that got the answers.
You know, but the history is there. I'm keen on history, but today is a new day. History is there. It's a new world order. So you know what I'm saying? The last will be first. The thing is, people have to wake up. The people have to wake up. The last will be first. The rapture will happen. The new world order is coming into it. It's a lot of people now that's doing a lot of stuff that has separated from the mindset. Okay. It's a lot of black people out here doing a lot of stuff, but they separate and they rebuilding and they learning. History was there, but history is his story. You gotta watch him
Are you gonna be you at Gucci?
No.
The white man.
I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. My glass is Gucci right now, but I really don't wear that shit. Before that shit came out.
I see you gotta take this shit out. Because why can't black people get it together? That's why, nigga. Hey,
That's why
y'all
you
wearing
ain't seeing
Gucci?
straight. You gotta take the Gucci.
What y'all
off,
think
man.
about that whole
I can't
Gucci?
afford Gucci.
Huh?
I'm just gonna
Right.
put it out there. I can't afford Gucci.
I mean, I don't.
Even if I could afford
Even if
Gucci,
I could, I
wouldn't
wouldn't
buy
want
Gucci.
it.
I wouldn't either, y'all.
Hey,
about
people say they
Louis.
won't do a lot
But
of things to
see,
get that money.
But see, that's
I
white
wouldn't
people
do
that
it
don't
because I
have
wanna
peace
put
to me
my
because
money-
Hold on.
I want to put my money into my people.
Yes.
It's always been like that. You feel me? Gucci's not the first person to do this. Gucci did it. Tommy Hilfiger steady saying it. Abercrombie and Finch do it. Why are we trying to fit ourselves into this people, into their way of living? We gotta create our own.
Yeah.
Stand with our own, stand with our own, and fight for our own. Why I want to be like you when you trying to be like me? I want to be like me. Let
If you
me
have
be
that
me.
peace that she got, you don't need to go wear Gucci.
It's true.
You know, having a lack of peace make you go for white people money.
I just
You
got
like
one-
white
I
people
just got
got
one
peace.
thing
You
to
don't
say
need
about that.
They come back with
Hold
what they
on,
was
Jimmy.
saying
Hold
about
on.
leaders.
Hold on, Jimmy. You saying something?
I
Go
don't
ahead.
think that you need all of that. I think that white people, their level of peace has pushed them to. Well, they don't even. To me, they don't even have peace. I feel
Oh,
like,
yeah, I don't think they
I
got
feel like
peace.
their lack of peace is why they are blatantly disrespectful. So I feel like if we were to decide to say, I don't want peace, we would be like them. And I don't think that we have that ingrained. I think as our ancestors have taught us very well, we have peace. We have inner peace. They call us savages. Nowhere near it. We are some of the most respectful, most moral people you will ever meet. So I don't think we lack peace. I think we have it, but we run from it and try to go there is when we fuck up. And bring us all together with unity, money. Peace is right in the middle of that. Unity and money, but then you still need that
And
peace.
that's what they're
Yep,
saying.
yep, yep.
All right, Jimmy. What you just say?
You know, this is gonna go to the Gucci thing after this, but you know, one of the things I have to say is, what about when you lose a healthy loss of peace? So you have less peace because working is stressful, and thus you make more money. And then after that, you can afford Gucci because I'm not wearing Gucci because I can buy so much with my $400 instead of. But I would like to lose more peace. I would like to be so stressed from all this work I have to do to make these 6 figures a year. Man, I gotta work 12-hour shifts, but I'm getting paid 6 figures a year. That's the lack of peace that I think we all should want. But if not, that's
You
fine.
saying we should want
If you
that?
get any
I'm
type of
want
peace
that.
because you build it instead of having peace because you're not
The
doing
peace
it.
of I'm working too much to get more money.
Yeah, the peace of working
This
too much to
conversation,
get
this
money.
The thing
conversation
is, like,
really
that's
just
why
went full circle though. Cause that come back
the
to
less
what
you-
Wale
it's kinda like
said
the less
with
you
our
work, the
leaders.
more money.
What you
Who
was gonna
leading
say,
us
bro?
that way to
it's
want
the
that
less
stuff?
like people that make the most money do the least like physical labor.
Yes,
that's true.
they do.
That's a fact, Jack.
Yeah, so I'm
So you
just
don't
saying
be
like
tired the more money you make. You actually get
you
more
actually gonna
relaxed.
be you stressed and all that, but you're not gonna be really making that much money because you're probably gonna either spend that money on your health because you're gonna be stressed and then you're gonna have health issues.
I think that's I think it's true that there are non-manual laborers where people are making large sums of money, but there are just people who do manual labor who make large sums of money. My father works so hard in these buildings, but he owns the buildings, so he makes so much money, and I so deeply just get all the money, have a great life, where it's just like, Daddy, you're working so much, but you're making so much. And I want to, of course, make money without having to, of course, do all that work. But hey, we gotta just lose the peace and just go into the workforce.
Why do
and
y'all,
working hard. is
why do
the
y'all
only way
think? Why
to
do
make
y'all
money.
think Gucci is like? Why do y'all think people even want to spend $400 or $500 on like a
It comes
Gucci
with a
sweater
status.
when you can get a sweater that would do the exact same
It don't
thing,
come
which
with
is keep
status.
you warm for $10-$20?
Because we have the
brand
same
perception,
Status.
status.
This conversation.
So why
Look
is
at
it
as
that
a
like
luxury item.
Gucci is an Italian brand
Gucci
and
man,
black people wear more Gucci than Italians?
The conversation came full circle because it's infiltrators. It's some niggas at the top who told them niggas, yeah, you finna sell this to your people. Cause your people gonna spend all this money on niggas. They gonna listen to you. Cause they gonna think a nigga like you that came from the bottom, that dressing that. That's how they gonna get there too. So what that? Infiltration. The conversation came full circle.
I guess that means you're successful when you get to wearing the big brands and Gucci, Louis probably get the.
Why?
But
Why
it's
do y'all
like
think? Go what you say?
No, because I was gonna say even the rich people be wearing freaking Skechers and stuff. That's how you keep your money. But you know,
Why?
You
Now
look
with
successful to
Gucci,
the bro- to a
Gucci
broke
had this
person
whole
when you wear
blackface
Gucci.
sweater. Why the hell would they even make something like that?
because they can.
Right.
Well,
think
a
they
lot
did
of
that
their clothing
intentionally?
items
Yes.
was like.
I mean, they're losing money.
It's okay, but we also ain't doing our
Not
research.
really.
Wale shared a
They're
very
not
good
using
article on that the other day. It's a black designer has done those looks of those same things. Now the difference is he capitalized on his caricatures made of his people. The white person is capitalizing differently. So really, I think that topic, though it may be a great topic, and it's good, I guess, for what we doing, but it is kind of beaten down. Somebody black already done that look. The same thing they got put everywhere. They've done it. We also got to look at the other person that they look at. I think it's Louis Vuitton that look at a black designer when they make their clothes. I can't remember his name, but he's a New York guy. He just wrote a book. But a lot of these white designers are looking at black designers, and they stealing their work. So when you go do your history, you read that a black designer did it first, and now they think they can make money off of it because it was done.
It's infiltration. The conversation is
Yeah,
coming full
it
circle.
do go back full
Infiltration.
circle.
They gotta do their
It
history on the
is.
patterns and on the characters. Like,
Yes, because then you would say some things when we would all be talking like it ain't about your color, it ain't about that you being African. And certain when you get to fashion is really it's racist as hell, but it's more colorism than it is they ain't gonna reuse something you did. Oh, they gonna use all your work and do whatever they want to do with it, but they gonna sell it to everybody. Racism is oppression. I don't think it's no racism in fashion. All of y'all can spend y'all money on Gucci and Louis if you got it. They don't say, oh, you can't wear it. It's even getting to the point now where they faking inclusion so people can wear it in their commercials. So it's pushing the agenda even more. It's infiltration when it come down to things on the TV. So yeah, I think that's why we like it. It makes you look. It make it look like it's golden on TV. And you know how I'm not saying we, but a lot of our black people are really stuck on entertainment, like she said. What the rapper got, I gotta have. What Beyonce had in her hair, I gotta have. You don't. You need peace. Go back to that.
It's the
I won't spend
but it's the
because of that
perception
song.
of money, like you said, it's the perception of having money. It makes me look like I have money because I feel like money is power. But like Sister said, power is knowledge. Like is what you know that's going to help you grow, regardless of how you're trying to grow, financially, mentally, spiritually. You need the knowledge to be able to grow.
Yep.
You know, I think about back when I was in high school, back when we was in high school, right? And man, like we used to be the brokest ass teenagers, but like
Hold on, speak for yourself.
She had money. She had to go
business out there like
I'm just saying, I'm speaking for myself.
No, we was.
But like, when we used to be the flyest motherfuckers, like niggas used to like stay with some like new shit on, and I'm looking at like the kids in high school now, and you talk about growth and like why black people can't do this. Like when I look, I see the growth. Like because these kids don't get like they'll wear like I used to be embarrassed to go to the thrift store. These kids will wear a whole thrift store fit, and the shit'll look fly too.
Yeah, my little sister love going to.
You know what I'm saying? so like even like when I look at like the black people who do wear Gucci, it usually be like the mumble rappers and like the people who you can kind of like look at and not to stereotype them, just like people who still ain't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't say like all black people like is buying Gucci because we know that ain't true. Mm-hmm. But like I think that we got to be careful because the media is really trying to like say black people make Gucci rich, but I don't know if I believe this shit no more. I think they be lying to us. They be giving us like fake ass stats. And because like all we see on their TV is us wearing that shit, we think that when we go outside, we gonna see us wearing that shit. But when we go outside, do we really see a lot of us wearing that shit?
Yes.
I don't know what y'all do.
Where you from?
I see dumb boys when
It
I
be
go
fake.
around,
and I see a lot of them.
That should be fake, G.
Let me say this. This comes from statistics, research that black people are the biggest consumers. So when you look at consumer reports and who purchasing the most shit, it's black people.
It's not just
Wait,
African
no.
Americans neither. It's
How can we be
all
the
black
biggest
people, like
consumers
she
when we
said.
Yeah, it's
black
all black people
it's
that's
not
spending the
just
most money, but yes, we
African
got the
Americans,
most disenfranchised neighborhoods.
And
Our
look-
neighborhoods look like shit, but we spending the most fucking money.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
we
I
get.
don't like that shit. When people be like, we, I be like, nigga, I ain't
But the
spending
reason
that
why
shit.
the reason why I said it,
What you
the
mean,
reason why I
we?
say it's not
You know
just
when-
African
I
American.
can't be hard on
Did
black
y'all
people
see
'cause I'm
Django?
black
Did y'all see
people.
Django when they did the boxing, when they made the two dudes fight,
Yeah,
right?
I
And the
seen
nigga
that.
that won, that killed the other nigga, they put him in the house, they put him in the
Yeah,
bed, they
yeah.
gave him some fam linen.
Yeah.
That comes back from mental change on your man, where niggas want to be better than the next nigga and not having empathy for everybody that look like them.
The
'Cause he
white
see no
man
value in
awarding
himself.
black man for killing each other.
Exactly.
And that's
And-
awarding this
Man.
man.
And
That
but
nigga-
a lot of the Africans though, like it's not just black people, because black people is what African Americans call themselves. African people, Belizean people, Nigerian people, for real. When they come over here, they want to go be Gucci down, Louis down. All you see is they belt got big shit on, and you looking like, but wasn't you living in a hut over there, or wasn't you living in this? This what you told me your story was. How did you come over here and get all of this? Then you have some who
attest to that.
come. You can attest to that because I've been in Harold Washington and I
Yeah,
see it. And I'm
I
like,
would
well,
say
there you go.
$100 bill.
But it's like I don't think that it's only black African Americans who spend their money on Gucci when they say that we make up the most spenders. Everybody that's black that has a melanin tone wants to wear Gucci, wants to wear Louis. They could be over there in Saudi Arabia and they wearing Gucci and they wearing Louis, and everybody does
That
it.
comes from
Well, when I was
infiltration
in
in
Atlanta-
our leaders. Well, Wale said, we have a group of leaders, whether y'all want to believe it or not, that's at the top, that's gatekeepers, that sit down with these people at these media companies, that's sitting with Bob and Tim them and telling him what black people gonna buy
Yes.
to put money into their white man pocket.
Yes.
That is called what we say a house nigga or Uncle Tom.
Yes.
That's
They got
like
us
back
down
in
to a
slavery.
science
When they had
when it
that one
comes-
nigga
They
watching the
marketing.
rest of them niggas
Yep.
and they telling him, nah, make them do this because they gonna do that. It's infiltration. We have to separate. And the motherfuckers that don't want to get with it, they ass gotta go. Go be Uncle
What you
Tom
gonna
with
say,
Tom.
Eric?
When I was in Atlanta, they had this. It was like a flea market.
Go
Like,
crazy.
You can go in that flea market and get anything that you want, and it was all knockoff. Like Louis, Gucci, Supreme, Balmain. You can get anything it's knockoff. So a lot of that stuff is fake.
Yeah, I think everybody's right in this sense. I think Tati's right. I think that there is like a grand effort to influence black culture through media and say, hey, this is what's hot now. It's been being done for years now. But I think that like Empress and Eric is right too, in the sense where it's like, yo, a lot of black people aren't buying into that shit. And I think like a lot of black people haven't been buying into that for years now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black people have bought out. There's a lot of black people who are still in it, but at the same time, it's a lot of black people who aren't in it. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, we can't keep painting these monolithic images of ourselves.
And,
We gotta say, yo, that's not all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
you know,
Last
you know,
topic, huh?
I have a joke
Yeah.
to say about Gucci. This is a joke.
Oh, shit. Hold on, let me get ready.
How come the white man is Superman, but the black man is Gucci man? How come the black man can't be Super Gucci man?
That
With the
shit
black
is-
face sweater on, Gucci man with the
Hey,
black
that
face
shit is
sweater
funny
on.
as hell.
You know what?
That's all
I'm
you have to
tired.
set up, you know what I'm saying?
I'm tired.
So do y'all think that? Do y'all think that?
Wait, can I ask him one question? 'Cause I heard he was going to mention a video. You talking about how to sell to the Negro video?
No. I was saying that. Well, I think it's the black elite that be spending all their money on that stuff. But like, cause T.I. said he spent like $7 million on Gucci or something like that.
Damn, that nigga, I thought he
Yeah,
was
the
woke.
goddamn fool. And
Yeah,
he-
something like that.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
but-
that's
how
how
he
it
I
is.
think he was the first one to
Right.
when the
So
thing
you
was
thought-
saying boycott.
I mean, he kept it real with us though by saying, "Hey, I was the one buying a lot of that shit."
But I don't even think I didn't even need the sweater to know they didn't give a fuck about us. But anyway,
They come with niggas want acceptance in a white man.
Infiltration, somebody telling you that you feeling more important if you put this on. Like,
Right.
continue with Bow Wow and how he got beat up by that girl, which he totally deserved.
That's the last topic, right?
Let's see.
So
Did you see
there's new evidence.
So what you
We
think
got
about
Bow Wow
what
clip
you think
is in
about that
session.
evidence?
Real
I'm
quick.
not-
No,
Candace-
real quick, real quick,
Okay.
real quick.
All right, hold on. Candace, who got after Candace?
I think the guy should ask. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Okay,
Real
okay.
quick, last podcast, I asked one question. I said, how do we know that she was not defending herself?
You did.
Those scratches did look like she was trying to get up out the jam. It didn't look like she was just beating them up.
And
So
everybody
when
laughed.
the elevator footage came
I
out,
saw
who
it.
was the aggressor?
Yeah.
Y'all saw the way he snatched.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. I'm not done.
I guess you just take off your shirts and jackets too. You don't see no problem with it. You like I get like that too.
We can't judge two
don't
mug
see that.
shots.
What I'm
We
saying,
can't judge two mug shots and say, "Oh, this person was in the wrong."
okay, I received that. Now here's my thing. Here's my thing. I saw a man jumping around an elevator, yelling,
Which was in public.
getting in a woman's face, but I did not see him put his hands on her.
You saw how
So,
hype he was in public. Imagine what he was doing in private.
Imagine, we don't have any proof. We can't say imagine. That don't hold up in court.
You don't because he has scratches on his face don't mean he was the one that was actually.
That can't hold up in court.
Those
scratches on his face hold up in court. Where's her bruises?
It does.
If he was beating her at home, like why he end up?
Cause she got them hands. Sometimes she got them hands though. Don't act
And I
like
feel like if a dude that emotional,
on.
you're that emotional driven to like take off your coat and get in a female face, like motherfucker, you 5'6". First of all, hold on.
Yeah.
Like for you to get that emotional, when they get out the elevator, he probably pushed her or hit her, and he deserves.
See, y'all saying probably this shit don't hold up in
Wait,
court.
but didn't y'all say she probably was the aggressor just because he had scratches?
No, we said she was because he.
No,
had
you said
fucking
she was.
scratches.
Okay, so you.
But
you
we
went
don't know how
that
to
she
we don't know how to
was,
record
and
her
you
body
never
look.
knew
We just saw
anything.
mug shots.
But when two people have a fight, you look at both of them, and the person that's more beat up is the person that lost. There were pictures of Bow Wow pulling up his shirt. He had red marks everywhere. There were pictures of his face, and then there were no pictures.
Let me ask y'all this as a man. Let me ask y'all this as a man. If this is your mother or your sister or your grandma and she by herself and she dating somebody and this little 5'3" buff, whatever he want to be.
He ain't even buff.
He ain't even that. He want to get all up in your sister, your mama, or your grandma FaceTime. What you gonna do? And you not right there. But you just thinking to yourself, why did he even do you like that on camera? What would you go do to a person that did it to your sister? What you want her to do? Call her brother every time? Sometimes you gotta.
That's besides
Hold
the
on.
point.
I got something to say then. Because this time I'm gonna be the antagonist. So does that mean as women we don't have the capability of walking away from situations that we see are going left? That's all I'm asking.
How do we know that she was trying to walk away?
She did walk
But my
away in
thing
the
is
video,
this,
so I don't even know where else to go. She walked away, and we don't know what happened after that. Well, she could have walked away, and he could have kept going because he was going
Statistics
from the
show
beginning.
that shorter men are more angry.
Yes, Napoleon. Napoleon syndrome. Napoleon complex is real. And you show that a lot.
Yeah, little man.
Average height. What the fuck?
I'm average.
You shorter than me. That's all that matters.
Oh, he's kind of short. I'm 5'6", 5'7". We sitting right here next to each other. He average, and we right here.
But you got boots on. You see Chris down Brown, like Rihanna, and then you saw Rihanna beat up and Chris Brown. Okay,
And
now you saw pictures with Bow Wow. And
No,
her.
you
And
assuming
Bow
that we
Wow
all
beat
took
up,
Rihanna's side though during that situation. And when that situation happened, Rihanna came. No, she came out and said, "I hit that man in the head with a heel on the Oprah show," and I was like, "Girl, you could have killed him." Yeah, she did an interview.
But my
She
thing
could
is
have killed
this.
him.
My thing is this. Like, so like, I hear like, see, this is where the double standard comes in. It's like, okay, you see elevator footage of him jumping in her face and doing all of that shit. So it's like, yeah, it was okay for her to fuck him up. But like, if you saw elevator footage of a woman doing that to a man, and then fast forward to her being, scratched up in a police photo, then it's like, well, we saw the elevator footage of her provoking that nigga. It was alright. He whooped her ass.
We wasn't
y'all wouldn't want to
saying
say
it was
that.
okay.
So I don't think that y'all should say that.
We never
I
said
think
it
what
was
you fail to
okay.
realize is that it was a storyline that you don't know, but you want to go with how you feel. But we telling you.
But you're doing the same
No,
thing.
no. We never said who was okay or who was wrong or right. Like we literally are telling you the storyline.
But you're saying that whatever happened,
I
it was
didn't
okay.
say that. You can't tell me what I'm saying when I didn't say that. I did not say that.
We never said it was
All
okay.
I'm telling you is the storyline. He yelled at her, and nobody knows if he continued to yell after the camera went off.
John, I
like
think
we
they
don't
was just
know.
defending last week with the comment of saying, well, she was scratched up. He might have been messed up too. So now they're coming back and defending and saying, hey,
So now we really
don't know what happened in that video.
I was saying last
We
week
said
we
this
don't know
could've-
what
But
happened.
then you know what?
But
else?
everybody was so quick to demonize her.
But what I'm
That's
saying
true.
is that
Everybody was demonizing
that
her
video
over that.
still, from what we have, right, from the evidence that we have, which is the photos and that video, that video still does not justify her whooping that nigga ass.
But did you not say last week? Well, if that's the case,
It
well,
doesn't.
don't we have to
It does not show
understand? You
We
said
not
don't we have to
justifying it
understand and
either.
accept
double standards. You said that the other week. You was like, well, if we can understand that that's how shit go, then why we can't accept double standards? And I said we can accept double standards if men can understand that if a woman decided to put her hands on you and you didn't get too physically bad hurt, like you got knocked out by a man, that you should walk away. That's a double standard that if we're going to do double standards, we're going to do all of them. Yes. Let me put my hands on you then and you keep pushing. No? Okay then. So we're not going to do double standards at all. It ain't fair. Men should not be hit on, but women should not be hit on. Men shouldn't be provoked, and nobody should be provoked, really. You can't get in nobody's face and take your sweater off, because y'all see, I just showed y'all. You cannot be yelling at people from any type of distance and then think it's going to be a great reaction. It doesn't work that way, male or female. Some people just get real tight.
We're not justifying it. We're not
justifying that at all. Like what she did to him was
storyline together.
Embarrassing.
The
and
way
it was
he was
over
snatching her arm and stuff in the elevator.
But that wasn't right neither, though.
That wasn't
and she didn't
right.
even hit him back.
He could just be like, look, just give me the keys.
She knew it was the camera. She knew it was the camera. We smart. We be like, it's a camera right now.
That was really aggressive.
I don't know, man.
But don't you need to pull it up so we all
can see that? Just in case everybody else don't know.
Oh,
I probably done saved it to go on the show.
Yeah, like I'll post it. We'll figure it out. But anyway, so anybody got any last things to say? Because we finna wrap up episode.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands. Oh, girl, yes.
Stay out of people's face.
Stay out. I can go with that too. Stay out my face. Stay out of Empress faces, y'all. Because don't get in my face.
Now I lost that fight. Only if I'm not gonna say it from a perspective of a relationship and standards.
Hey,
I just
you got that flyer for this Sunday?
I was gonna say my answer is find some activities to do. Find some type of way to release, and the way you can release,
go ahead.
is this Sunday, February 17th, here at the Loop. We're having Age of Aquarius. It'll be a full day of mind, body, and soul activities, from spiritual readings to chess to yoga to body butters, DIY body butters. Brother John will be performing for us.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure you all come out right here at the Loop, 2150, and I'm sure we'll throw a post on the plug-in, so make sure you watch the podcast. And the All-Star game will be going on, too. So it's from 2 to 11 here at the Loop.
It's a party then.
It's free entry, but the different activities will cost. Like the body butter class is normally $35. You'll get it for $10.
Okay. What about the
chest? The chest is $5.
Take from $10. They got 30 for you.
I like discounts.
I like that. So hey man, shout out to y'all for watching, man. This is episode 4. Clap it up again. And Black Group Therapy, man. I know every time we have an episode, I go through my week and I be like, man, I feel myself becoming a better person. Absolutely. I didn't have to yell at my brother.
We done turned him into a man.
That's my man's over there. Look at him, bro. You got glasses on. Man, I'm proud of all y'all. I love all y'all, man. Black Group Therapy, yo, we out. Peace.
Hey.